Hey, what's up, Cubs fans? Here with loyal fans. Dave here. What an awesome game today, Sunday, July 22nd, 2018. It's been kind of up and down with the Cardinals. Good rival. Cubs beat them today 7-2. Pretty encouraging of starting pitching Quintana. He ended up pitching 7 innings, gave up 2 early runs, and one in the first, one in the second. And he recovered, got a lot of strikeouts. He did walk, I think, 4 guys, but it was just pretty big for him to go 7 innings, and it definitely was a quality start. Montgomery had a quality start yesterday, and the day before, Chatwood went 5 1/3, gave up 1 run, so that's almost a quality start. You know, if you're, especially for Chatwood and a 5 guy as is. The starting pitching has done well 3 games in a row. It's been kind of a struggle the last 4 weeks. Before that, before the last 2 couple quality starts, they only had like 3 in a month. So that's very encouraging. The bullpen, they're kind of up and down. Entering Sunday, believe it or not, they had the second lowest ERA in the National League. So they're still pretty good. They've been, kind of a revolving door. A lot of guys from Iowa coming up and down. It's been helping get some fresh arms in the bullpen. This new Jesse Chavez pitched 3 innings so far in 2 games and retired all 9 batters. He's getting it done. Looks to be a pretty good addition in early sample size. So we'll see. There's a pretty strong rumor that we may get that Britton from the Orioles, who's a closer. Kind of came back from an injury, but the good thing is he should be pretty fresh down the stretch and into the playoffs. And right now, Cubs are 3.5 games over the Brewers. The Brewers got beat today, so Cubs are looking pretty likely that they're going to be in the playoffs right now. Still a lot of baseball left. Cubs are 58-40 right now, so you still have 64 more games of baseball. And trust in Theo that he's it looks like we're going to get a second bullpen arm, and then we have other resources in Iowa. I still would like to get another starter, although Chatwood looked better, and you got better performance from Montgomery and Quintana. Hendricks and Lester didn't look so good. I guess ironically they only had 4 days rest, and then the back of the rotation, they kind of by design gave the other guys more rest. I guess Quintana had some shoulder fatigue, so he looked maybe a little rusty at first, coming back after 11 days off. But gotta love the results. Seven innings pitched and only 2 runs allowed. So you take that all day. And after yesterday, the bullpen everything went wrong with the bullpen. It was just a bad day by pretty much everyone except for Dylan Maples. Actually struck out his only 2 batters faced. So if you count that as a moral victory, but kind of good to see for Maples. He's a guy that's having a pretty good year for Iowa, but small sample size between last year and this year, just really not getting it done at the big league level yet. But he got called back down, kind of a numbers game. He'll probably be back up September 1st, maybe sooner, injuries or whatever. But September, when rosters expand, he definitely should be back up. And gotta love what the hitters are doing. They didn't quite, yesterday, they got 3 runs fairly early, and then they couldn't get it done in the bullpen yesterday. But that wasn't the case with the first game and this game, where we got 7 runs overall. So, you're going to win most games when you score 7 runs. It's just been kind of a weird series, with that game with Leicester, and things got out of control, and we lose 18-5. But gotta give it to the team. They didn't just give up. They fought through it. Madden started preparing for the next game. Used 3 position players to pitch 3 1/3 innings, and that kind of helped the bullpen. And Quintana helped the bullpen today. We only used Chavez and Rosario to pitch the 8th and then the 9th inning. So, tomorrow we got Luke Farrell. We're up against Arizona. And Arizona's a tough team. They're fighting for the playoffs right now, fighting for the division, or at least a wild card. They got a lot of good hitters, and we got Luke Farrell, who's, I would say he's a little below average type of pitcher. He can relief, he can start, He's done all right for Iowa here and there, but he didn't look so good in his first start for Chicago last time. But we are relying on him because we pitched all 5 of our starters in a 4-day time, because of the double hitter. So, when you turn back around to Hendricks, he hasn't had his 4 days rest. So we're relying on him to eat up some innings. And if not, we got a pretty fresh bullpen somewhat. Like I said, only 2 guys pitch today. Several of the guys pitched, 2 days ago, of course. So I know you kind of getting that. You want to use a guy 3 out of 4 days. So sometimes Madden likes to give a guy 2 days off. He's kind of thinking long term, keep guys as healthy as possible. It's kind of a little bit scary right now without Morrow. You get into a close ball game or 1-run lead. Cesek could be a closer. They've been kind of putting him in the 6th, 7th inning. He had a bad game last time, but we don't really have a true closer. It's kind of by committee right now until Morrow gets back. If we get that Britton, he can help out, and you just never know. Morrow's been pretty good when he's here, but he's been on the DL twice now, so it seems like now it is kind of in the best interest to get a closer, even though I don't like some of these rumors that we may have to trade Bodie or Hatch or 2 or 3 pretty decent prospects with 1 or 2 that could even play in the major leagues on another team right now. Personally, I like to see Bodie stick around. When Sobers retires, he could fill in his spot. So that would be after next year. But it's always a tough dilemma. When you're making these trades, you're trying to win now, and you're trying not to mortgage the future too much. And especially when you get a rental and then they don't sign, and then it's like you lost your minor league prospects, and then you don't have that guy that you're hoping to maybe be there long term. So you basically, it really hurt. If you win the World Series, then it's kind of like that Chapman. Chapman helped us win a World Series. He kind of was breaking down a little bit at the end of the year, but he was a big part of our success. But now we look back and like, oh shoot, we lost that all-star Gleyber Torres, and Chapman's no longer on the team. But that's kind of the risk with trades sometime. Now, if we made a trade for like DeGrom, that guy has 2 more years after this year. He's got the lowest pitch count, the lowest ERA. You're definitely getting an ace. Never any guarantees on the future, but I could see why that guy would demand a lot in return, which could definitely deplete our minor league system, which is a little bit depleted as is. We do have some talent, but and then it would make an interesting decision. I guess maybe that would make Chatwood, where you just move on without him and eat his contract, or put him in the bullpen. We'll see. He did go his first 2 innings without giving a run, 2 1/3, and then he gave up a run. Carpenter hit a homer. I'm thinking, maybe if he could pitch 2 innings out of the pen. But it will be interesting. I'm sure we'll make at least one more trade any day, maybe tonight. The 31st is the trade deadline, so they are working on it. So we just got through a grueling 5-game series, beat the Cardinals 3 out of 5 games, won the series, had some ups and downs, and we play a pretty good Arizona team, 4-game series, and then we go on the road this time against the Cardinals for 3 games, and then we get July 30th off. So getting close to that trade deadline. So be interesting. I'm sure there'll be a lot of different pitching transactions one way or another, almost on a daily basis, close to it. We're trying to do what we can to division lead. Go Cubs, go.